Hey guys, welcome back, and as always we are going to talk about what could be in the next selection pack come May. We have received a lot of cards we weren't expecting in this selection pack, and now the May pack could honestly be very interesting, also because we still have to get the new ban list that will come in May that could end the Snake Eyes era once and for all. But let us look at what we have today. We have Rage of the Abyss, which is the core set that we are currently on. The next real set to get would be Crossover Breakers, the Ryugi Malice set. This would be in TCG order. This is a deck building pack, and then the next real pack would be Supreme Darkness, where we already have some cards from. So let's look at this. We have the Shark stuff. We have just received the Shark stuff. You can see the Metal stuff, Heart of the Blue Eyes we already have, Metal Illusionists. There's still the Battle Wasp support, but these are only a few cards, so nothing too big. We have the Primite, which was one of the big things from this pack here, and then you can see Lacrima is still missing, but this is only one card, and then another Fiendsmith card, so does not really count. The Nut Centurion cards, as well as Memento support, and then the big thing that we are still missing from this pack, I guess there are two things. So firstly, we have the Mermaid stuff, the Atlantean Mermaid stuff, the new support for that, and then also the 6 Samurai stuff is in here, if I remember this correctly. You can see the Azamina stuff. We already have a bit of the Battle West support, but I think these are only 3 or 4 cards. And then the 6 Samurai support, which are also not that many cards, also in the realm of 3 and 4. And then the rest of the Fiendsmith stuff right here. Mermaid King and Neptibus, which is Atlantean. And then you can see a lot of the other cards we already have received. If we scroll down even further, you can see the Primate stuff, which was one of the big archetypes. And then here, spell cards for Atlantean, for example. So I can definitely imagine the next pack giving us the Mermaid Atlantean stuff. I would be very surprised if we do not get that. At the moment, Konami seems to want to finish archetypes from the sets that we are currently on, so nothing fancy going on at the moment. So besides the Blue Eye stuff, Blue Eyes Primate, which we really got very early. Not the Primate stuff necessarily, but the Blue Eye stuff. So I am definitely expecting Mermaid Atlantean to be in the next pack. I would bet on that. We might also receive the rest of this 6 Samurai stuff in order to finish this pack, but that is actually not a lot. We do have to keep in mind, though, that we are still missing some of the TCG exclusive archetypes. For example, the Mimighoul stuff. I'm not quite sure this was actually in here, but this is already the second support wave of Mimighoul, so we are still missing the first support wave. Mimighoul is actually not a bad archetype, a bad TCG exclusive, so we could also see this coming in the next pack. If I would have to guess, I would assume that in the May pack we won't get Ryugi or Malice, even though we could definitely get one of them. I don't think we will get both in the same pack. I think one will come before the other. I'm not quite sure which one will come first. Given the fact that we have received the 7th Tachyon XYZ card recently, we might suspect Ryugi. And then there's also the question, will we get the complete Ryugi / Malice engine when we get it, or only the first wave? Since the second wave is not even out in the TCG yet, but this is something that Konami definitely does in Master Duel, giving us the entire package. And I also would be very surprised if by the next package we do not get the rest of the Fiendsmith cards, since they are also from this pack and we want to finish this pack. This would only be the Arcanum Day, as well as the very important Fiendsmith's Lacrima, the Crimson Tears. We will get 2 more Fiendsmith support cards in the future, but these ones are never really being played, so I consider this the end of the Fiendsmith support. So in all honesty, I am assuming that in the next pack we will finish this pack here with basically all of the remaining stuff, but we might also get one of these archetypes from Crossover Breakers. Hopefully we don't get the 3rd archetype that was not relevant, the Ryugi archetype here. So you always get 3 archetypes in a deck building packs. You can also see this in the new OCG meta, which I've talked about yesterday. The videos in the topic corner are very interesting. They received a new deck building pack, and these deck building packs recently have been very successful. 3 new archetypes, all of them are relevant with this deck building pack. It was only Malice and Ryugi, and it's always important to keep in mind that the archetypes from these deck building packs will get additional support, and even with the first support with Malice and Ryugi were very good. Ryugi unfortunately not. With the second support wave they will be a bit better, but nothing too fancy. So as already said, we might see one of these archetypes in the May pack. Then again, I don't really think so, since in my opinion. You can let me know in the comments what you think of this. The April pack was quite impactful. We got a lot of secret packs, a lot of extra stuff. Primate is a really strong archetype we have received. So I don't really think that the May pack will be that impactful, but we will have to see, maybe. And then I would guess we get Ryugi first, since we have received 7th Tachyon. This would be my logic here, but if I would have to decide on what I would bet on for, I don't know, 100 euros, let's say, or dollars, then I would bet on us getting the rest of the Rage of the Abyss pack here with Mermaid Atlantean, maybe the Mimigold stuff, and then stuff like the rest of the Fiendsmith engine, which this would also make sense because a lot of people want to finish their Fiendsmith engine. So putting the Fiendsmith cards in here as the hype cards for the May pack, and then it would definitely not be a bad pack. Also not too fancy. We might get the entire Fiendsmith stuff to bait the people to invest in this pack, maybe. So this is what I honestly, and the 6 Samurai stuff, this is what I would assume. This is what I think is most likely. Doesn't mean that this can't happen. We are definitely at the point at which we will receive the Ryugi and Malice cards pretty soon. If they don't come, if the first or both of them, the most craziest thing would be receiving Malice and Ryugi in one pack in May. This will most definitely not happen, but I would assume that if we don't get any of these in May, then we will pretty sure, or nearly 100% sure, that in June we will see the first of these coming to Master Duel, either Ryugi or Malice. Once again, don't think we get both of them, since both are very hype and you definitely want to split them on 2 packs. Then we have Supreme Darkness. We already have received some cards from Supreme Darkness. They are the Evil Hero stuff, and the new Arcane Force is in here. We have a bit of Speed Void support. You can see that all of this White Forest stuff we already have received. One of the big archetypes in here is Aggro Stars. They are working with traps as monsters, monsters as traps, something like this. This archetype unfortunately wasn't really it, so I'm not even sure what this actually does. New Materiactor support. Definitely not bad, but also nothing to write home about. More Shark support. Here's a Primal Dragon Ether Barrel. We fortunately already have this. Here's another Atlantean card, which I would assume we get this in combination with all of the other Atlantean cards if we get them in the next pack. We have the new Gladiator Beast support, and then one of the most interesting support lines from this pack would be the Crystron cards. They are actually quite nice, making the deck quite effective. A new Tenny support, so a new Swordso support is also in here. Once again, unfortunately not really pushing this deck over the edge. And then there's a new Mulch Army Meows for Graveyard and Banishment, will not be very relevant. We have already received Halo and Ween in October in the Halloween pack, which is crazy. And then if we scroll down even further, the Evil Hero stuff is the big thing from this pack, and a few of the most impactful cards like the Doom Dragon or Saint Azamina we already have received. You can see here's Fiendsmith Rex Tremende, which is not really an important Fiendsmith card, unfortunately. And then Crystron cards, Tenny cards, Materiactor cards once again. Eclipse Twins, a very important card for Ryugi, since this allows you to basically summon your Ryugi boss monster twice in a turn. Ryugi boss monster would be the detonator, which can, every time when something is activated, target a card on the field and destroy it by detaching one material. And if you have this Eclipse Trims under him as a material or in the graveyard, you can destroy himself and get him back with the Eclipse Twins. Very strong card for Ryugi. We have Abao, RQ, the Lightless Shadow, a cool Fiend support card, which is actually very strong. 2 monsters, including a field monster, doing the main phase quick effect. You can discard 1 card, then activate one of these effects. Either destroy 1 card on the field, or you banish this card until the end phase. And if you do banish it, special summon 1 light or dark monster from your graveyard. And during your standby phase, it's also a crazy effect. You can draw cards equal to the number of different monster types in your graveyard, then place cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck in any order equal to the number of cards you drew. So one game where I was playing this in Malice, you play this in Malice, I draw like 7 cards, and then I could rearrange my hand, keeping the cards I wanted for the turn. Very strong. But you can see Sinful Spoils cards we already have, and yeah, this is basically this set. Honestly, not the most impactful one. There were a few interesting cards. We have the Primate Scream we already have, for example, Fiendsmith Kyrie, also not a good Fiendsmith card. I think in this set, though, there was Mitsurugi. Mitsurugi, one of the best TCG exclusive archetypes. Also the second support wave for this, very strong, so very promising. This is honestly the best stuff in this pack, the Mitsurugi stuff. But yeah, with TCG exclusives, we always get them late, so wouldn't really expect them. But I also wouldn't expect any archetype from this pack. Hopefully we can finish this pack fast when it comes, because it's actually not interesting. Lightstorm Dragon would be a good card for Blue Eyes Primate. You can make this with your Blue Eyes and then a tuner, level 1 tuner. This card is special summoned. You can target spell traps on the field up to the number of normal monsters in your grave at +1, so either 2 or maybe even 3, destroy them. It's very strong, and if this card is a triple battle or card effect, you can target one spell trap in your grave and set it, but cannot be activated unless you control a normal monster. So normal monster support Lightstorm Dragon, extremely good. But yeah, this is not a very interesting pack, unfortunately. A few cards that are really great, but nothing too fancy here, the Mitsurugi cards being the best ones. So my prediction, just to finish this up, is, and you can let me know in the comments what you are hoping for and what you are expecting, but I guess we get the rest of the Rage of the Abyss set and call it a day, getting the rest of the Fiendsmith stuff with this, which is nice, making the May pack kind of nice, and then in the June pack I am expecting crossover breaker stuff to start getting to us, maybe even, so if we are talking June pack, in theory we could get Ryugi and Malice together, but I don't really think so, since both of them will be very hype and there is no real reason to not split them into 2 packs, which is why we could also see them in May, but I don't really think so. This is my prediction for the May pack. Let me know in the comments what you think, what are you hoping for, and what would you like. Thanks for being here. If you like my video, please consider subscribing, hitting a thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the next one.